In this video, I'm going to play as a guest on chess.com. In the first game, I'm going to play at a new to chess level difficulty, and in the second game with a beginner difficulty, in order to show you how to punish beginner mistakes. So let's start with the video. And here we go. I'm playing as white. And sorry buddy, but it is what it is. Now we are playing logically. I play e4, this is going to copy me with e5, and I play knight on f3 in order to target this pawn. Now I just develop the bishop on c4 because in the future I might play knight on g5, threatening the pawn on f7. Now he's playing logically and is developing pieces, which is good. Now my plan is to develop minor pieces and castle short. Now before castling short I have this move that threatens d4. Now he played queen on f6, which is kind of a mistake. It's quite easy to punish, I will say, because you shouldn't really develop your queen out early in the game. Because if you do that, it's going to be a target of my pieces, of my minor pieces, usually, and you're going to lose a lot of time, which means I'm probably going to be much better in a couple of moves. Now, if I play d4 now, though, I feel like that's not the best move. I see there is a lot of pressure on the f2 pawn, so I can just castle now. If I castle, I'm sure that even if I remove the knight, I'm not going to get checkmated because the pawn is defended two times now. Now, after d6, it's much harder to play d4, so I will play d3. I play d3, threatening to play bishop on g5. Now, if I play bishop on g5, though, I'm going to have a lot of problem. Bishop on g5 because he can take this way. Now, knight on d2, defends everything. Now, I played knight on d2 because if I don't do that, let's say I develop the bishop somehow, he's going to take. I have to take back, and after that I have to take with the queen, and after that I take my queen, damaging the pawn starter, which is not ideal. Now he moved the queen, threatening to take, and let's say I don't have a knight or a queen at that point. Yeah, I can take with this pawn, but this move actually doesn't threaten a lot, so I don't feel like it's a good move. But yeah, if I play, let's say, h3, he can actually take the pawn. So what can I do? Now, I can gain more space playing a move like before, but instead of that, I could also play a4. If I play a4, I threaten b4 followed by a5, tapping the bishop, which looks great. So let's play a4. He needs to save his bishop somehow, so playing a5 or a6. And after that, I figured it out. I mean, despite the fact that he developed the queen, his position is not bad. Although I'm sure that I have an advantage because I have an advantage in space, on piece development, and my queen is less a target than is. Now, he should really castle, but before doing that, he obviously have to save his bishop somehow. So again, a6, a5 makes sense. In this position, though, you have to be really careful as white, because yeah, black can play something like that, and you can be in trouble pretty easily. Now, if I see though that is not that strong, let's say, even if we play h4, I don't care. Even if we play h3, I just play g3. So, if I see that after everything happens, let's say he can do whatever he wants, I'm still not in such a trouble. I can keep going with my plan. And my plan is to tap his bishop, which I finally can do successfully. So he basically lost a piece again, because this does not work. If I see that this does not work, I can keep going with my plan, win his piece, and then we will see. Now, winning this bishop is crucial because it was really annoying. Even if he sucked though, it might be better for me. because I take the pawn with the rook, so double pressure on the f7 pawn. So probably it will be better than, I don't know, sacking the knight for me. He should play to say the bishop because it is really annoying, so sacking the knight, for example, and saving his bishop. Although after that I'm going to play d4 and GG. Your bishop is out of the game. That does not scare anyone, and I'm good. Yeah, as I said, this is a better version now. The g2 pawn is also more defended, so again, if you play something like kg4, h3, I just push the pawn, not going to lose a piece, so I'm completely fine. Now, if I want to put more pressure, I could just play queen on b3, which unpin the knight, so it's really good. Unpin the knight, more pressure on the f7 pawn, still up a piece, life is good. After that, I have to develop the bishop somehow. Double rooks, maybe. So let's say bishop b2, double rooks, move the king, h3. That's the plan. I know it's really general, but you get what I'm saying. Before opening the position, because now that I have an advantage, it's real good for me to open the position. If you are up a piece, usually it's good to keep going with the attack, but before attacking, as I always say, you should develop pieces. So I develop every piece. I put the rook on f1, so I double the rooks, and after that I can destroy him. So after that I can attack. Now, if he plays h4, I can just take it with the knight. So it's not even a problem. It could be a weakness. And after that, double rooks. What are you going to do? Now d4 is probably really strong, the bishop is supporting the pawn. And I'm going to have a lot of that in the future. Now, I have to say though, this position is not easy to play as white. If you are a beginner, if you end up in this position, it's really easy, you're going to mess up. You need to have a precise plan. d4 opens everything and I win. d4, let's say you take, but then I take. Yeah, I feel like d4 wins everything. So I'm sacking a pawn, but after that I actually, I mean, maybe I'm not winning the pawn back, but you see that there is a lot of pressure on the f7 pawn. So in order to have an incredible attack, I'm going to sack a pawn, which is completely fine. I think d4 is the best move, probably it is. Because, as you see, my position is built to attack this pawn. Everything in my position is going against that pawn. Now, before taking this pawn, I need to calculate what happens after I take the pawn with the knight. Because you might be like, yeah, I take the pawn with the knight, threatening the queen. Although he has danger levels, because he can attack my bishop, threatening the queen. So I attack the queen, but he wins my queen, and I'm still down a piece. So it's not a good move. So I need to take this pawn, or with the pawn, or with the bishop. I will say with the pawn, because if I take with the bishop, is going to play, then my bishop is really good because he's targeting this pawn. I don't want to give my bishop for the knight. Usually it's not a good play, especially if this bishop is so strong. This bishop has a great potential, so I don't want to play it. So I take the pawn. Now, if he push, I can move the knight because, as I said, is pinned. So I also attack the queen. So that is not the problem at all. I might threaten to play d6. Let's see. Now I'm just threatening to take this pawn with mine, and I mean, after that, it's easily designable. I have all the tells in the world, so he has to do something about that. Yeah, this is a common mistake that beginners do. Like, you are not threatening mate. I see. You would like to threaten mate. The problem is that I have a rook defending, so what are you going to do? You're not doing too much. Now, if I don't have a rook, I'm going to get mated, so I had to think about a clever answer. Let's say if I take with the pawn, looks great, but I give him more attacking chances, which I don't really like. So what if I take with the knight, opening the rooks and attacking the queen at the same time? Again, is not threatening mate. And after remove the queen, I can attack the queen again. The queen has to move, and I probably can take the bishop with the pawn, so I also win a piece. If you sack the bishop, that really just helped me, because now I have a rook on the g-file. I hate to say that my opponent is playing pretty well to be a 400. What can I do? As I said, I can attack the queen another time. I'm not doing that just because I want to attack the queen, but it's because the queen needs to leave the g-file, and after they do that, I'm not unpinned, so I can win a piece. That's my plan. Probably also playing d6 was a good move. A lot of attackers on this pawn. But yeah, this looks simpler, really logical, and I win a piece after that, so I can't really complain. Another advantage of taking this bishop is that I have a pawn on h3 that prevents his knight to go on g4. Just another advantage, is not that I need it, but it's something more, something useful, of course. And yeah, now I can just win a piece. Unless I can clap his queen, which is not so... I mean, where is your queen going? I say go there, but then I play this. I think his queen is clapped. I play this, and the only way to say the queen is to go on d4. But after it goes on d4, I play this. Can't go there because there is the bishop, there is the knight, there is my knight, and the queen is clapped. Oh, nice. So this is another important thing. When you see that you have a good move, always look for something better, because doing this, you're going to win more games. Trust me, if you do something like this, you're going to win games that otherwise would have been more complicated to win. Now I just win the queen setup. Unless I blunder the fact that I can take this pawn after that. Ah, so stupid. It's so stupid. Sometimes, really, guys, it just surprised me. But yeah, let's see the positive aspect. I'm up a piece. I'm up a piece. Oh yeah, I won a piece before. Yeah, I mean, I'm up a piece. I'm going to play queens, and I'm going to be up 2 pieces. But this was so stupid. And probably he's going to blunder the fact that this pawn is undefended, and maybe sack the queen. I was like, I'm so clever, you see, he always look for the best move. Ah, painful. I mean, I'm going to win everything though, so it's still good. But I was saying, if you see that there is a good move, try to see if there is something better. Now, it's true that I can't calculate, but my tips is a good one. He can take this pawn, but this time he missed that his rook is undefendable. So he also loses the exchange. Fair enough. Now let's try to play a game with an higher difficulty. So obviously doesn't change a lot if you can target your opponent's weaknesses with white or black. Oh, what is this? Now, this is going to be a good example of targeting your opponent's weaknesses. First of all, rule number 1. Don't develop the queen out early. Why? Because I'm going to attack the queen with my pieces, my minor pieces. And you have a problem. Now you are already completely lost. Why? Because you develop your queen. It's not even out early. You develop your queen at the second move. You just you just want to lose. You just want to lose. That's it. I mean, I can't explain that. So I can win this pawn with the knight with my pawn. Although, let's see if there is a chance that I can tap his queen, which I don't think it is. So this queen though is a weakness and I can target it in the future. Now, if you say weakness, it does not mean that you have to target it the next move. Because before that, you might have to do something else, something that is more important. In this case, I guess he's taking this pawn. I feel like it's better to take with the pawn. Why? Because this pawn now is advanced and annoying. And also I'm opening the queen. Now, what can I do? I'm going to develop the knight. He's going to win the pawn, of course. But I'm going to play e5. So now I'm gaining quite a lot of space. Before e5, I have to be careful. Because e5 is going to take with check. So instead of doing that, I can take the knight to take with the queen. And again, I win another time because he has the queen in the middle. So this queen is going to be the reason why I'm going to destroy this guy. Because I'm just winning a lot of times. He's not going to improve his position because he just has to run with this queen. But he's going to improve mine because I'm going to develop my minor pieces. Yeah, and after this move, I'm going to play e6 or develop the bishop. Maybe develop the bishop before. Yeah, it usually is a good move. But you know what? I want to target the queen faster this time. Because I can develop the bishop on g4, but he can attack it again, and my bishop, I don't know, I feel like it's not that great. I don't allow the bishop on this diagonal, so maybe it's better to play b6, bishop b7, and put it on this diagonal. Now I'm going to win another time, probably. I attack the queen again, developing a minor piece. Remember, if you can develop a minor piece, do that. With tempo. That's really important. Now, if I castle, I have zero problem. He's targeting this pawn, but after I castle, I'm really okay. Now, you might be scared to castle if there is a queen there, but you also have to understand that if you don't see any threat, unless you calculate badly, probably there isn't. Where is the threat? Also, just remember that he has two pieces. So I know that with the queen and the knight, if you want to do something, usually is I don't know, let's say a queen on h7 and the knight on h5 and the knight on h5 that attacks this pawn, but this time is not even a target. So let's attack the queen again, winning another time. So I'm winning a lot of times attacking his queen, which is great, obviously. Now I play h6, which is a good move for two reasons. It's not only to attack the queen and gain a time, but now this is a defensive resource because the knight can go on g5 even he's the square bishop, and I'm not going to get back rank checkmated. I just need to be a bit careful. But the bishop on d3 is not good at all because he's blocking his d pawn, so he can't develop the bishop attacking the h pawn. So I'm really happy about that. And now I can gain more space playing e5. Now e5 is a crucial move in order to be much better in this position. And if you can understand the concept, you're going to win a lot of games. Now I play e5 because the position requires it. What do I mean with that? Well, if I play e5, I don't have to waste two moves playing b6 and bishop e7, developing the bishop on this diagonal. Also after that I had to play c5. So I can already develop the bishop on g4, and this time might be good because he has a target. But it's not only that. I gain space, and this pawn is threatening a fork. Now, is it a real fork or not? It kinda is. Why? Because I play this move, and you see that this pawn is defended 2 times, but after I take this, I can use another weakness of my opponent, which is the fact that he still hasn't castled yet. You should castle as soon as possible. I mean, not really as soon as possible, but kinda early on in the game. Because if you don't do that, you're going to get destroyed. As you see, I won the queen because he still hasn't castled yet. And apart from that, now he's losing his right to castle and is going to get demolished, obviously. So now I develop the bishop on f5. Why? Because this is a target, pretty simple, and I can't develop the bishop on g4. If he's going to attack me with his rook, I just move the queen on d2, and I'm happy. Now I don't see any tactics, so bishop on g6. Bishop on g6, because if I play bishop on h7, there is a chance I'm going to get back rank checkmated, and I don't want to allow any tactics about that. He should really try to gain a time attacking my queen, but he's not doing that, so I'm preventing his threat. So, I mean, he's going to play this move at the center point, and I will have to attack, to move my queen. But now I'm just threatening this knight in the future. Or also, I think this is a better move. I can make this knight move, so attacking it with the pawn. And this opens the file for my queen that can finally attack this pawn, which is pinned now. Also using the dark bishop to attack this pawn 2 times. So now this pawn is a target, is a big weakness, and I'm happy. You see, this is how you target weaknesses. And in order to not have that many weaknesses, you should try to follow the principal rules, which are not move the queen out early, not use the queen in the opening. I know there is some lines that you do that, in which you do that, but usually you shouldn't. If you play the Scandinavian, again, I say it in pretty much every video, I wouldn't suggest to play the Scandinavian if you are a beginner. It's a bad opening for a beginner, because that way you kinda learn that you can play developing your queen out early. No, you can't. And if you play the Scandinavian as a beginner, you're going to lose 20 times because you don't know what to do with your queen. So yeah, I wouldn't really suggest that. I would suggest to play the Caro-Kann instead. That's a good opening. Or e4, e5. I wouldn't suggest to play the French, because it's hard to play. Sometimes you're going to get attacked and you need to be really good defensively speaking. I started to get good with the French around 1800, so I wouldn't really suggest that for a beginner. I can take this with check, by the way. And other good opening, I wouldn't even suggest the Sicilian, because there is a lot of theory. You can play that when you get stronger, but to start you just need to play a decent opening. You don't need theory, but just play something that does not lose into moves. Now, let's use every piece I have in order to mate him. If I use every piece, don't worry, he's going to mate pretty soon. Yeah, this is just mate. After that, I can play... wait, what is the fastest way? Take, go there, mate. This is a way sacking your bishop, which is interesting. If I play like this, go there, check, go there, and this is mate. I'm just going to find the most beautiful one. Or, this is mate in 1. No, in 2 because he can defend with the pawn, but after that, look at this. This is beautiful. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you learned something, and before ending with the video, I just wanted to thank you, because now we are also close to 800, which is a lot. I really enjoy making videos and reading your comments, so thank you for everything, and see you with the next video.